buying bone broth, the good stuff, is very expensive. So I'm gonna teach y'all how to make it. Now I've simplified the process a ton and I only do this once a month. I am not doing this weekly when I meal prep because it just takes entirely too long, but I do this once a month. It lasts me through the entire month and it kind of is like a therapeutic process. It's low-key kind of ancestral. Now I know y'all not gonna like it, but the things that go in bone broth are not things that we're eating. I think like in an American diet, it's not stuff that you eat regularly, but in other cultures, this is stuff that they eat regularly. So let's be respectful. I don't want to hear the jump scares that, oh my God, that's disgusting. Keep having problems, keep having gut issues. Your skin is going to keep being messed up because the American diet does not consist of things, as we know, that we should be eating. But the first thing is going to be chicken feet. There's no way around it. They have the most collagen out of any other part of the chicken. You're going to have to use chicken feet, okay? So we got the chicken feet. Now, I don't know where to get them. I order them on Instacart. I believe they come from like the Hispanic grocery stores and they're really, really cheap. The other thing about this is so affordable to make. Like, I got a pack of chicken necks, $1.33. A pack of chicken hearts for $4.47. And then the rest of it is going to be vegetables. So got some garlic here. I like to get, really good organic vegetables because I'm using the whole thing. Like when I'm buying the carrots, I'm throwing in everything. So we have some carrots here. These are organic rainbow carrots, regular carrots, celery, and a big old onion. Now we're going to get all of this cleaned up, separated. Please clean y'all stuff. I know it's tedious, but nobody want to be drinking dirt. Like these carrots have dirt on them. No one wants to drink dirt. I'm using my pressure cooker. It makes the process easier. Yes, you can do it on a stove. I'm not doing that. It's supposed to be a quick process. So I just like to spray my stuff down with this from Trader Joe's. But I know Sprouts has a fruit wash. A lot of people have them. But I just like to spray all of my stuff down with that to get them ready to wash. Cause like, look how much dirt is on that. That's not cute. Because everything is going to get like cooked all the way down, you don't have to chop this cute. Nothing about this has to be cute. And you can use as much of one vegetable or less. You can also omit things. Like I said, you can add whatever you want to it. The one thing I forgot to get from the store though was some herbs. I like to do fresh parsley. Actually, I grew some fresh parsley, so I have that. But rosemary, thyme, all of those are really good to put in here. And of course, everything is pinka. Y'all, that song is living rent-free in my head. It's low-key my theme song at this point. So put our chicken hearts. Now, we're not going to debate on this. If you don't wash your meat, then this will be just an easier process for you because you don't have to go through cleaning everything. But for me in my house, we gonna wash the meat. You do what you want to do in your house though. That's your rules. You pay the bills there. Same thing with the necks. These are what they look like. These are chicken necks. We got our chicken necks and our chicken hearts. For the big reveal, y'all are so afraid of chicken feet. I don't know why. I posted my Instagram story and everybody's like, oh my God, I can never. You can never have a flat stomach either. So pick your struggle. We got the chicken feet. I buy these in bulk so I don't have to go and get them each time. I have to place an order. So these are frozen, which is perfectly fine. I already pre-cleaned these, so I don't have to clean them again. I cleaned them before I froze them, but you can Google how to clean chicken feet. Let me just run some water over this, cold water. This one is clearly sticking the middle finger to anybody who got a problem with us using chicken feet. It's clearly saying, and do you know if you don't cut off this little booty part, you're not gonna cry? You just have to not cut off and expose the chemicals that come off the booty part. And you don't cry. Mwah. No tears. And now the star of the show is our pressure cooker. I'm just gonna throw all this in a pot, in this little pot together. And I cook it for 3 hours. The only additions you'll have is salt. I like to use a really good salt, so I'm gonna use a Celtic salt. You need apple cider vinegar. You need water. Filtered water works perfectly fine. Obviously, like, not using tap water because we want this to be as clean as possible. But if that's all you have, I'm sure that's probably what they use at the store, girl. I don't know. I'm gonna make mine pretty bland, but I am gonna put in like the salt and pepper, and then some dried herbs that I have, and then you can also use fresh herbs. So your parsley, thyme, rosemary. I definitely want to get as much meat in here as possible. The vegetables you can add later because they don't take that long to cook. So all of the meat is going in here. Definitely want to get some of those carrots in. Now that we have all our ingredients, we have our filtered water, apple cider vinegar, and the Celtic salt. You just need enough water to cover everything. So however much that means for the amount that you're making, that's how, I was almost there. So I just gotta use a little bit more. That's how much water you wanna put. Now, everything is covered. For the apple cider vinegar, please don't make me lie and tell y'all how much apple cider vinegar I put. But I know that if I don't give y'all a measurement, y'all gonna act crazy. So let's go with 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. Actually, I have a 1/3 cup right here, so we're gonna go with 1/3. You wanna use apple cider vinegar, raw, unfiltered with the mother. Ooh. And then for salt, you need a healthy amount of salt. So 1/2 of a tablespoon. So let's say we're gonna do 1 whole tablespoon. You can literally put whatever seasonings you want. I really make this based off of what I have. So we're gonna put some parsley in here, some oregano, garlic powder, a little garlic powder, and I'm gonna add a lot of ginger. Now we're gonna put the lid on, and we're going to put it on. You can do slow cook. I do the slow cook setting, and we're gonna put it for 3 hours. Make sure you close the valve. So it's gonna cook for 3 hours, and then we're going to let it do its thing. This is an all-day process, and sometimes it even takes me like 2 days, but the good thing is you like set and forget. You set everything up, do whatever, and then you forget about it, and you don't have to deal with it again until it's time to actually like put it into the cups. But it's a really easy process, and you save money. You know exactly what's going in it. It's healthy, it tastes good. So I'll come back whenever it's time to do the rest of the process. So it's the next day. This is what we're working with. Mix up all of that, and then we have the strainer set up here. I'm gonna leave this out for a little while to bring it all the way down to like room temperature, and then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, and then it's going to get like jelly. So now that we have our bone broth, we are going to get ready for the freezing stage of this. So your bone broth, since it was refrigerated, should now be like jelly. You see it like jelly? So on the top, you'll see like this thin layer, and that's what we want. This is gonna be like the grease that we're going to skim off the top. And then the bottom of this might look weird. You may not get this depending on what meat I use for my bone broth. Sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. But all it is a mixture of bone marrow. It's coagulated protein. It's just a ton of good stuff. So we're going to actually mix this back into it whenever we portion it out into the cups. But we want to skim off this fat first. And I'm just gonna take a metal spoon, and then I'm just gonna carefully drag it across the top. You can start to actually see it coming off. Now don't be afraid if you actually get some of the bone broth in it too. And you might not be able to get all of it, but you should be able to get a good bit. And I'm just gonna put it to the side on a plate. Now some people save this and they actually cook with it. I'm not gonna do it because I don't really have a need for it, but I'm just skimming it all off the top because I don't want that part in my broth. Okay, so that's about the best that we're gonna get for this section. Now, I showed y'all the bone marrow mixture at the bottom. Now you can just come in here and you really just mix this up. You can also let it sit out and then scoop it that way so it's all mixed up together, but I find that it comes out the same either way. I'm just going to take a cup. This one is a half a cup, and that's typically the amount that I can fit into this specific muffin pan, but you can also find molds that are going to be exactly 1 cup, so you know that you're getting a cup of bone broth a day. I have this theory that since this is like already coagulated, that if I use a half a cup, I'm actually getting more than if I was using liquid. I don't know how true that is. Maybe I should test it out. But all you're gonna do is put it into the cup and you're just filling it up with as much as you can fit into each one. So I have filled up my muffin tin. I'm gonna put this in the freezer. It'll take about an hour for them to fully freeze, and then I'll just pop these out and then put them in a Ziploc bag, and then we'll be good to go. And then I'll just do this again with the leftovers that I have. I already have it uploaded on how I get them out of the muffin tin, so I will pin that video below so you guys can see that. But that's the entire process for making bone broth.